Source: Zdenek Gazda. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton left a 9/11 commemoration ceremony and went to her daughter's home in Manhattan after feeling overheated, according to a statement by her campaign. Video footage taken by bystander Zdenek Gazda, a photographer, shows Clinton from the back being ushered into a car after leaving the 9/11 memorial in downtown Manhattan. But one event overshadowed all that, leaving Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton facing her toughest week yet. Clinton's collapse at a 9/11 memorial event in New York made global headlines, with her critics questioning whether the former Secretary of State was fit enough for the top job. The health scare and confirmation that Clinton is suffering from pneumonia follows a horror weekend, which saw her apologize after calling Trump's supporters deplorable. The presidential hopeful told donors during a fundraising event on Friday that half of Trump's supporters belonged in a basket of deplorables. To just be grossly generalistic, you can put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Quote, Clinton said, right, racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that, and he has lifted them up. He has given voice to their websites that used to only have 11,000 people, now have 11 million. He tweets and retweets offensive, hateful, mean-spirited rhetoric. The comment sparked anger and raised questions about her judgment. In a statement issued at the weekend, Clinton apologized for the comments, admitting they were grossly generalistic, and regretted saying half. However, she maintained she would continue to fight bigotry in Trump's campaign. Trump seized on the gaffe, tweeting he wouldn't make the same comment about her supporters. While Hillary said horrible things about my supporters, and while many of her supporters will never vote for me, I still respect them all. However, Friday's controversy was almost completely overshadowed by her 9/11 ceremony collapse. Experts have warned it will likely be used by the Trump camp to prove their point that Clinton isn't fit for office and is hiding the truth about the state of her health. Professor Simon Jackman, Chief Executive Officer at the United States Studies Center at the University of Sydney, said both incidents wouldn't be enough to cost her the election. However, Professor Jackman warned the next few days would be vital for Clinton to convince voters that she was able to govern the world's biggest democracy. He said the Trump camp would use the incident to legitimize its call that Clinton is hiding something. This certainly puts the ball back in Trump's court. Professor Jackman said from Washington, much will be determined over the next few days and how quickly she can bounce back from this. Professor Jackman said the deplorables gaffe was all anyone could talk about over dinner in the U.S. at the weekend, but the 9/11 memorial incident blew that off the front pages. He also said the U.S. election was so long that mistakes were bound to be made at some stage. He added both issues would be regarded as a welcome relief for Trump, who has been trailing in the polls and still recovering from the fallout of the attack on the Khan family, whose son died in combat. The reality is Clinton was leading by 10 points in the polls, and it's now around 5, he said. Basically, it's another distraction on top of the questions that remain over her lost emails. Clinton has faced mounting criticisms for using an unauthorized private email system run from a server in the basement of her home while she was Secretary of State from 2009 to 2013. While she admitted the decision was wrong, it raised questions among voters about her trustworthiness. Professor Jackman said Clinton's deplorables comment didn't leave her in the greatest light, describing it as a rare moment of ill-discipline. The bigger test lay ahead of her. Professor Jackman said the reality was Clinton needed to bounce back faster to prove the Trump camp wrong. senior fellow at the United States Studies Center at the University of Sydney and respected commentator Tom Switzer said both events at the weekend were a massive setback for the Clinton camp. Mr. Switzer said the 9/11 incident played directly into the hands of the right-wing conspiracy theories about Clinton's health. This comes after her coughing incident last week and after she suffered concussion and a brain clot when she was Secretary of State. He said the Democrats questioned if George W. Bush was fit for office after he briefly lost consciousness in 2002 after choking on a pretzel while watching football. He said Clinton was now fair game for the Republicans. Mr. Switzer said Clinton's saving grace was that she had a strong, reliable and center-right running mate in Tim Kaine. He's an experienced legislator who can help her govern and help her win, he said. This was compared to Bernie Sanders, who was not only seen as more left-wing but less appealing overall to voters. Health issue. The Trump campaign has repeatedly questioned the state of Clinton's health. The latest incident offered Trump a new opening to attack his White House rival. However, he has so far remained largely silent over the issue. Trump earlier said Clinton lacks the mental and physical stamina to take on Islamic State, which stemmed from her 2012 fainting incident when she was Secretary of State. Clinton was suffering a stomach virus and dehydration prompted her to faint, causing what her doctor said was a concussion. They found a blood clot on the brain and Clinton temporarily suffered from double vision, but was later given the all-clear. There has also been increasing speculation that she may have a brain tumor, Parkinson's and dementia, AFP reported. The former First Lady has dismissed conspiracy theories about her health and pointed to a letter from her doctor declaring her fit to serve as president. It also emerged Clinton had been diagnosed with pneumonia on Friday, but her camp only disclosed the fact after being forced to do so. Statement from Hillary Clinton's doctor says Clinton was diagnosed with pneumonia on Friday. Pic. Twitter.com XFEY9WLOA. Dr. Lisa Bardick said Clinton had been experiencing a cough related to allergies and confirmed being diagnosed with pneumonia on Friday. She said Clinton was given antibiotics and advised to rest and modify her schedule, but she became overheated and dehydrated at a September 11 memorial service in New York, with AF.